All right, chapter 1. I made note here, that and that's not just successful students, but, successful adults have these traits as well. I note, create a schedule. I love thy planner. I am a big fan of my planner. Always have been for work and have definitely been since I've been back to school. And I wouldn't be able to function without it, truthfully. Here we've got emotional intelligence and management skills, I think are super important when it comes to interpersonal communication, which is a focus that I am very much interested in. Chapter 1 overview. Love thy planner, stay organized, master self management. A quote that I really liked from this chapter was the soft stuff is always harder than the hard stuff, which was, I believe, from the CEO or the chairman of PepsiCo. Um, Another lesson in this chapter would be that building financial literacy and good money techniques will be valuable for the rest of your life and not just college. Chapter 2, making notes again about how not just necessarily students struggle with this stuff, but adults in life do as well. Here I've got a highlighted section. I note here reflecting inward is definitely difficult when we are displeased with what we see. Adapting a creator mindset will help us learn and succeed at learning well beyond the classroom. Lots of notes here. The Rosa Parks example of being tired of giving in to external oppression, did what she could, what she had control over. Chapter 2, adapting a creator mindset is important for both lifelong learning as well as happiness creation. Accepting personal responsibility, inward reflection, and changing our inner conversation are all things that will help us succeed. Chapter 3, mastering and maintaining self-motivation is important for success academically. Visualizing and creating an affirmation to live by will help us achieve long-term goals. I note here, subsequently living that affirmation that we've created for ourselves as well. Here I know in the wise choices as it refers to drugs that it's, addiction is really hard for a lot of people because being honest with yourself about having a problem is it's not easy. Chapter 4, I thought of the Tim Urban TED Talk with this quote here. This quote just made me think of something that's always going through my mind of just telling myself to just do the thing. Instead of dwelling on what needs to be done, just do the thing. Chapter 5 with interdependence. I like the quote from Ernest Hemingway. I've referenced a similar quote in the movie and book Fight Club about, people not really listening and talking just for the sake of talking. This quote I related to one of my favorite movies, Boondock Saints here. Chapter 5 overview. Interdependence relates heavily and depends on purposeful, honest, and responsible communication. I'm currently a communication major, so I picked up on that and the importance of that in this chapter. I also know that, respecting cultural differences is all the more important now, considering the amount of diversity and awareness that we have for other people's cultures and the amount of hate and terrible things that we hear about in the news that are strictly based on differences in culture. Ignorance of what we do not know has been a problem for humanity for a long time. That's I would say throughout most of humanity's history. Chapter 6, identifying and rewriting outdated script is how we grow. We must be honest and self-accountable. Self sabotage and unconscious forces are common ways that we allow ourselves to not accomplish our goals and sometimes not even allow ourselves to ever begin to start to achieve our goals. Chapter 7, developing a growth mindset is meant to work our brain like a muscle. Um, to support growth by effort, we should also seek feedback and be willing and able to change the course or the plan as needed. Willingness plus desire to learn and change equals growth. Critical thinking skills, super important for forming logical arguments, identifying misinformation, big deal in the age of technology, and lifelong learning. Developing emotional intelligence. I took a psychology class the semester before this, and we learned a bit about Carl Jung, and I very much was interested, and so I was happy to see him make an appearance in our book. I also like this little cartoon drawing. Overview of Chapter 8. We're able to create and enhance our personal happiness by controlling our emotions, contributing to others, and increasing our self esteem. Stress coping skills in this book can help us later in life. And for the final part of this presentation, here's a little overview of the final assessment that I did at the end of the book. And it did show some growth in a few areas, and my lowest area scored was still employing interdependence, something that I will certainly need to work on. But armed with the tools that this book has given me, I think not only this book, but this class as well, that the skills that I've learned and I've been given will definitely help me employ that in my life and in my academic career.